Hey class, this is going to be our discussion for gender equity. I don't know if it's supposed to be equality but I read equity, so gender equity discussion. And in this discussion, we need to answer 2 out of the 6 questions. I wanted to answer the first one, the very first one. What was the original purpose of Title IX, and was Title IX focused solely or primarily on sports when it was first passed as a law? And that answer is no. It was not focused solely on sports. It was actually focused on educational, I guess, any education program that received federal money. This law was passed to prohibit sex-based discrimination. And that law and that ruling was just passed on into sports because this was brought on, and it's a federal law, so it was brought on to any program that receives any educational program that receives federal income or federal money, federal grants or anything, and so that poured over into the sport programs of these federal funded education systems and programs. But it was not originally solely based just for sport. It was actually based for educational purposes and programs that you are not allowed to, in an educational setting or in a classroom, have sex-based discrimination. The second question I want to answer is the last one, actually. Explain the factors that would show that a student athlete was in a hostile work environment. Certain factors, honestly, they can range from a number of different things. I've experienced and seen hostile work environments as a student athlete at a previous school where our head football coach was really not all the way there mentally. He wasn't mentally capable of handling and leading a football program, and that's not saying that he trying to say he was a bad person or a bad coach or anything, even though he was. It was just saying that I'm just saying that his mental capacity was not there, and he would do things that showed that. There was many players. He was there for 2.5 years. He kicked off 60 players, 60 team members, and he took pride in that. And he kind of said he was shaking up the culture, changing things, but it was for reasons that it wouldn't warrant you even getting suspended. I mean, one guy got got off of the team because he looked at him the wrong way. That he felt he was looked at the wrong way, so he kicked him off of the football team. It was certain things like that. But in a general, broad speaking term, I would say just anything that prohibits you from performing your duties, any person, thing, situation that prohibits you from performing the duties that you are supposed to perform as a student athlete, such as go to class, go to workouts, practice, games, so forth. And I mean, on a flip side of that, I mean, let's say with the situation that happened with the U.S. gymnastics team, if that happened just at a school, that would be an example of a student athlete in a hostile work environment. As a women's gymnastics player, you being scared or not feeling like you can go to your athletic trainer because he is rumored to, or he's been touching you or another student or another teammate in a certain way, that prohibits you from going to them. That prohibits you from now doing your tasks and your duties as a student athlete, because now you're afraid to go to or be around a certain person, especially alone, because of what you have heard, seen, or have already experienced. And that's basically just one example. But like I said, just anything that you can point to and say, I was not able to perform my duties comfortably or in my own ability because of this, that, and the third. All right, guys, that's enough for me. Can't wait to see what you guys have to say.